Dragon Con because you're going to be there and I'm going to be there. But I'm very, very excited for multiple reasons for Dragon Con this year. It's the 40th show. And this is a year change. They're calling it, it's, I forget how they phrased it, but it's almost like when Marvel wrapped up phase one. Now, we were excited for phase two, so we're not going to compare it to the rest of the phases. But we thought, oh, phase one was amazing. Phase two is going to build and be better. I think it's where Dragon Con is going. Phase one is there's some changes happening this year, transitions that are happening. And I have actually, as one of the spokespeople, I have doubled the amount of interviews I've been able to do this year over last year. And they're my kind of energy interviews. So last year was more kind of radio-esque where it's ask a question. I can tell you like a 2-word answer, or not a 2-word, like a minute and a half long answer. And it really needs to be, I need to have facts. Like, oh, well, tell us about some of the tracks that go on. So, bam, you like this. If you like this, check this out. And I have to be that infotainment kind of guy.
Gotcha.
This year, I got help with the Dan Carroll, who I believe he's retiring this year, but he's run the media group for a long, long time. And he helped me write the email this year to where it suited what his guidance was, but also my energy. And I'm getting people like, oh, we definitely want to talk to you about Dragon Con, but dude, you've been in digital media for 20 years. We want to hear that story. You do all this stuff with Dragon Con. We want to hear that story. And so I've been able to get more of my style of hour-long interviews and telling stories and connecting. And it's been great that way. Nice. We got much more coming. But, man, I'm achieving my dream. And I'm not going to talk too much about it here because I kind of want to be well, you know what? Not that many people who go to Dragon Con listen to this. So I'll go and tell you guys. Spoiler alert. We're the digital media tracks. You know, right here on the broadcast, you can look down right there, some cool little name tags. I can hit a button and boom, nice little thing pops up on the screen. Digital media's been moving to be cooler and cooler and that kind of production value to easily do at home for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But then I go to my track and I have paper. I mean, they're nice cardboard stuff. I have paper tents with names on them. Or we have these dry erase marker boards that you can write your name on them. I'm like, that is functional. And I can appreciate it's provided for me. But it's just not good enough. We're digital media. We need to be snazzy. We need to be cutting edge. We need to be the next level to show everybody else a great show, number one. And then secondarily, hey, other tracks, you can branch out in your own versions like this. And this year, dude, I'm getting digital nameplates. And it's going to be so glorious where these tablets are going to sit right there on the table. And you're going to have the 40th, Dragon Con 40th branded nameplate with your name in there. Then in the last 5 minutes of the panel, as we start wrapping up, it's going to change to the socials that you want to promote. And in between the panels, it's going to have advertisements. Basically, like the QR code for the charity will be there. We're running a test run on the advertisements because next year it'll be for charity and somewhat to support the track, depending on what we need. But like Little Brown Pill is going to have an advertisement up there. Be awesome together. And it's just going to cycle through. We're picking some other shows and other friends of the track to test run this. But it's going to be this digital platform that's going to consistently put stuff up and do things. And then it's also going to run the TV. Instead of doing PowerPoints or like just Canva presentations, we're going to have dynamic changes and flows and videos up there. And it's going to be, I'm just so excited. It's been 10 years. I'm like, from year one, I'm like, we got to do better. Here's some lights. Year two, here's some better microphones. And year three is like, we are up in we got nice cameras. We got good microphones. We got good lighting. How come we're using paper? This is killing me. So I'm so excited that we're going to pull that off this year. And it came through. And then the last thing I want to nerd out about, I mean, so many good guests, so many fun people are going to be there. And I don't only half teasing. I mean, you guys are going to be in a better position. You're going to be in the Hilton. The Uploads of Fun is going to have a table in the Hilton across from one of the salons. It's going to be on either side. I'm not sure which salon it's going to be until we get there. But that makes it so much easier for your fans to come and interact with you and talk to you. You're not lost in the sea of other celebrities, right?
Yeah.
Because everything's time-based in Dragon Con. You got to get to that next panel, or you need to eat lunch, or you're worn out, you need a nap. so you don't have time to hit every booth. So by the time, and you told the stories about kids would recognize you, or not
Oh yeah.
you, Chris Hansen, but your group, you and your boys, and the parents were like, who are that? But being in the Hilton, it's going to be so much easier because there's no major lines, there's no distance of, oh, we're going to walk way over here and stay away from the booth. It's right there. I'm excited for you. I think Thomas Sanders is also getting a table close to you like
Okay.
that. And so that kind of influence and connection makes me very happy. The fact that you and Thomas are going to work with me on the Fandom Face Off game show, it makes me very happy. But I get to be in a once in a lifetime experience panel. It's Dragon Con 40, a look back with the founders, and I get to moderate that panel and ask the questions I want to ask of the four awesome, amazing founders of Dragon Con about why they got it started, how the stories. I got a whole list. I'm not going to, but it's like there will never be another one. There will never be another one.
Dude,
Because
that's killer. Wow.
yeah, I it's it's so cool. And the story behind that was, of course, they were going to do it. I mean, this is a huge, huge show for them. And I mean, who would have thought when you said we're just a bunch of nerds who want to do some Dungeons and Dragons and talk about some sci-fi movies that we're watching, and you start this convention in a basement of a hotel that had roughly 1,500 people show up in 1987, when you didn't have internet and all that other stuff to promote it, and you're just a bunch of cool people who did it. Who would have thought that 40 years later you'd be one of the most iconic and influential things in Atlanta, much less the world of fandom? Um, and so they're like, we're going to do this panel. We'll get a moderator. I'm sitting at the director's meeting when they're saying, I sit close to Regina. So we'll get a moderator for it. I mean, my hand went up. She goes, she looks at me like, now I've had the moderator. Now she knows who I am. She knows what I do. But she also made sure that I got the moderator training so that if there's ever any pushback, she goes, no, he's been through the training. Now I'm very busy. I don't get to moderate a lot of panels. But she goes, would you want to do this? I'm like, girl, I do a show called Finding the Stories, where all I do is sit down with people, creators, and celebrities, and dig the stories out about their adventure, what drove them, what brought them. I don't care that they made this movie. I want to know what made them happy about getting to that process and their family life. So yes, to sit down with the four people who founded this con and
Yeah,
ask them
dude.
every heartfelt question that I have, it's gonna be so good. It's
Dude,
gonna be
that's
so
cool.
good. Yeah,
That's awesome. I'm curious.
yeah.
What what happened in the moderator training?
Okay.
Like
Interesting enough.
let me ask you a different way.
Okay. All right.
What did you find useful?
At the time they were transitioning to, instead of having people standing like lines at microphones,
Okay.
they are using special Discord. They have a public Discord for every ballroom. And so
Okay.
people can submit their questions. So there was, I was like, okay, here's how you look through the questions and sort through them. So that was
Okay.
very cool.
Okay. Okay.
Um, one of the things I really learned was, I know it's not about me, even though my brand and my specialty of why I make an experience is I do insert myself in and bring stories to it. But I went, okay, I'm going to pull back and I see how you might have asked that question or how you steer this thing, because there's a lot of celebrities that don't play well with others,
Yep.
and so I learned to be able to how to read the room a little better and calm down what I'd want.
Gotcha.
I love like what we do here, where we're talking back and forth, and I can usually, that's just my energy in the universe of I randomly get assigned at other conventions that I do. I get assigned who I get to talk to, and I'll go and research some stuff that makes me happy about it or connection. I always find something I love about what they've done to always start with that. But I usually get a good conversation going with the celebrity. But
Gotcha.
I've definitely seen some that it didn't go that way, and for me to try to bring it that way, that helped. The rest of it was just me messing with everybody else, because everybody had to take a turn being the moderator and trying to avoid a question. And I can't remember what I did to Rob Roberts, but because I've been to a million of these just like he has, and I was like, I pulled out like the worst audience question and made it a 5-part thing, and just got darker and darker with it. And yeah, other than that, I mean, it was biggest thing I pulled away from it. I'm really good at what I do because I don't think I am. And to a point, I
Well,
mean, I'm confident, but I don't think I'm great at what. But then when I see other people who needed the training, like, oh, I
yeah.
need to lean in. And ask, I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's just who I know that stuff already. I don't know where I know it, but yeah. So you're gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say like I want to do more moderating at cons. That's something I'd like to get into because I've not seen it done well a lot, and I'm sure you've
Yeah.
experienced that as well. And there's one guy that I met one like the first panel we ever did as Uploads of Fun. His name was Comic Con Ron.
Okay.
Awesome, but he can't. But these cons, the problem is, and not this. This is why Dragon Con is different. The problem is they bring their friends and their buddies,
Yeah.
and it's crap, and nobody has a good experience. But Comic Con Ron, he was at PopCon in Indiana. Awesome.
Good.
Great voice, kept the conversation moving.
Yes.
He was able to discern in the group who was talkative, who wasn't, and whoever wasn't talkative, he would ask them, softball questions, they could knock out of the park. He was just great. And I was like, dude, you're awesome. Why don't you do more of these? He's like, it's just really hard to get into cons. Like you can't because they've got their friends, they've got their
Yeah.
family,
Yep.
and
They got
that's who
their
they want to do
volunteers
it.
that are free. Yeah.
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 But he would, and he also does like while he's at cons, he does like a vintage video game room as well.
Gotcha.
Like he runs one of those. So he's pretty cool, but I'd love to get into it more, but it's always like we've already got someone. And I'm like, listen, I can not only do the panel and moderate the panel, but I can create content while I'm doing it that you can put up. Because most of the crap you see that other cons put up of panels,
Yeah.
it's absolute dog water, dude. It's
Yeah.
crap. Like I saw one of somebody asking, an audience member asking Shia LaBeouf, you know who that
Shia
is.
LaBeouf? Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf, like a bigger star.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the background, the moderator's having a side conversation with someone else. And you're like, what is happening?
So it was like just the moderator and Shia?
Yeah.
And
And it's not like
wow.
it wasn't like a technical like issue. Something was going on. They're trying to work it out. He's like having a side, like, yeah, I know, right? And I'm like, what the is happening? I'm like,
I would have to go to that microphone. Like, I got a question for the moderator. What is wrong with you?
yeah, it was so unprofessional. So unprofessional.
So we're gonna start to wrap up here. But I started a company that didn't go anywhere because timing. But in 2018,
Okay.
I was at Atlanta Comic Con at that point. They've changed the name now because of ownership and whatever.
Oh, it's Atlanta Comic Convention now.
Yes, Atlanta Comic. Yes, because it's owned by FanX, and they changed the name to kind of separate a little bit further. I'm assuming a little bit further out from San Diego Comic Con and New York Comic Con.
Right.
And I think I don't know that you can really trademark Comic Con, but maybe you can. I don't know. But yes, it's Atlanta Comic Convention now. But when it's Atlanta Comic Con by a whole different group, I talked my way when they first came to Atlanta. I really talked my way into let me moderate. Here's some videos of what I've done, and like, cool, yeah, you can come moderate. And so I did a number of celebrities. Great. Second year, it says like 2016. Second year, did some more. Third year, brought in my buddy Tony P. Henderson, and we both did some moderation because what they were doing is they would just go to the town they were going to, and their staff is so bare bones. So you got the head of I don't know if she did the whole con or if she just wrangled the celebrities or what, but you got her with the programming and the celebrities, and she has an assistant. Everybody else is just a volunteer that they recruited from town. I guess they put out like Indeed ads or something like, hey, come volunteer for the con.
Yeah.
And they're putting these college students that don't have a clue on the stage with celebrities. So in 2018, Tony and I, it's his first year doing it, and we did our thing with our celebrities, and each one of them always look for that moment, right? Of I ask you something, and I get some version of, I've never been asked that before, man. Thank you, or that's one of the best panels I've ever done. That kind of connection where I really get to open them up as a human.
Yeah.
And Tony did the same thing, and so we were like, well, we want to check out Creed. Creed that's his actual name. Is the actor who played Creed on The Office, right? And so like, hey man, I want to see what other people do for moderation. Talking about dog water, Creed sitting up there, this kid who couldn't be more than 23-year-old sitting up there. And unfortunately, the way this Comic Con worked at the time, they had this massive concrete room that could probably hold 3,000 people, and 40 showed up. And so, and then because they can hear because of speakers, they kind of want to shout from their chair, but it's not easy to hear when you're on the stage to do that. So is that, but I remember somebody asked a question, and Creed told the story, answered it. Nobody else was at the microphone. So he looks at the moderator. The moderator's like, does anybody else have any questions? And Creed's like, you're right. And then finally, he told another story, and that got somebody else to stand up and ask a question. Then somebody else asked a question. And after that, Creed's like, all right, come on, guys, I'm here for you. What questions you have? And the moderator goes, yeah, come on, ask some questions. And I went to Tony's like, we got to build a company. We got to take over. I can't. We left. I couldn't even watch it.
Yep.
And we I heard that one. We built the con mods. And so in 2019, now follow the dates. We know what happened right after that. So summer 2019, we did a test run where we're pitching. Because we pitched it to the con. The con's like, love the idea. You guys are great. I will have you. You can moderate any and every panel that we have here in Atlanta. You want to come to Orlando? If you get there on your own, we'll put you on any every panel. You want to drive to all these other locations? I'm like, and so we were going to do Atlanta and Orlando that year, and now it's 2020. So 2019, basically, blah blah blah. We don't pay people, and we have such a tight budget that you gotta. It's like, can you at least get us a discount on a room? Give us like a green room to eat food, so we don't have to. And they couldn't do any of that. So I'm like, well, I'm not coming out to Indianapolis for that.
No.
I can't put in $1,500.
Yeah.
And they understood, but we decided, okay, the cons aren't going to pay you. Let's go to the celebrities, because if we can show and connect with the celebrity, like if this was a different world, Josh, I'd have come to you and go, hey man, the way you do your cons and everything else, and that's apparently building for you. Here's how I can bring a different conversation every time. And what you do is in your contract for the con, because you're the celebrity and they're going to pay you to come or guarantee you money. You make sure I get paid X amount of money, cover my travel, my food, and some time. It's not that, and then we were going to build up that way. And so 2019 was a test run, and every celebrity that we moderated, we had a card, we handed it to them. It's like, hey, I know you have some really bad experiences at other cons in other cities. What we do is we travel with you. And there was three of us. There's me, Tony, and Tyra. So we have different flavors. We got different genders. We got different colors. So we can swap it out, all this jazz, whatever works for you as a celebrity. And everyone's like, oh man, it's a really great idea. And then COVID hit. And
Gotcha.
took out a lot of cons, took out a lot of celebrities doing cons. And when they came back, Dragon Con came back bigger, better, more. But a lot of these other cons swapped over to corporate con, which is celebrities want to spend out of their 10-hour day, they want to spend 8.5 hours on that floor signing and taking pictures and making money, and they'll do maybe an hour on the panel, and that's it. So, but you're right, it's rough. But Dragon Con is different. Dragon Con is fan-based.
Yeah.
We serve the fans. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. You also ask the people who are guests there to do panels, and hey, you got to do stuff when you're there, and that makes sense because it's for the fans. It's not just for them to make bank, which they're going to do anyways.
Yeah. And I literally do not know who said it, but there have been, as you can imagine, celebrities have come and didn't like that. And like on the first, it used to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And now it's Thursday through Monday. So they might come in on Friday, and then Saturday they do a panel in the afternoon. Like, we think we're going to leave. And the con's like, no, you're not. You're contracted to do 4 panels.
Yeah.
Because that's what your contract says. Well, I was just trying to help the con. Like, that's not how this works.
Yeah. We don't need you to help the con.
The con's fine. You don't need us to help you, but we all are here to help the fans.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
So.